Every woman seems to be on a mission to change something about herself. Curly hair, straighten it. Straight hair, curl it up. Long hair, chop it off and then immediately start growing it back. Men, don't even try to understand this. Just accept it as a fact. And by the way, tomorrow I will get a new haircut, feeling all refreshed and renewed. You'll see it in the next episode. But since my mind always circles back to dolls, let me tell you about wig making. Dolls are high-maintenance fashionistas. They simply cannot stand synthetic materials. Any fake stuff looks just too harsh on them. The hair has to be fine to mimic the natural look. The best for this purpose? Goat hair or mohair. Sometimes camel hair is used too. The first sheared and combed to remove the coarse and uneven bits, leaving behind a bundle of smooth, human-like hairs, only thinner. These are then glued together into wefts to create a wig. My dolls sport wigs that can be styled and restyled just like real people. I usually glue the wig firmly to the doll's head, but if an artist wants interchangeable wigs, they are made with special magnets. For curly styles, it's handy to use a metal knitting needle. The most economical way is to buy the fur still on the skin. That's what I did recently. I bought a large goat skin from an online store called Sigismund. It had this fascinating, authentic color. It arrived, though, I smelled just like a live goat. Now I can't help but think that Sigismund was the name of the goat himself. Every time I open the box with the skin, I get a whiff and say, "Hello, Sigismund." And here is a little tip to get rid of that smell. Animal skin is coated in a special fat that cannot be washed off with regular shampoo. So you carefully cut off the hair, put it on the container and soak in water with dishwashing liquid. Fairy works great. Leave it for a couple of hours, then rinse in the conditioner. Dry it on the towel and voila, it's ready to use. You're welcome. It has been exactly a year since my life took a drastic turn, something totally off my radar. So every morning when I wake up, my brain asks, I am in Barcelona, right? I had a simple dream. I finished building my house near Moscow, live there quietly and start thinking about aging gracefully. But here I am, launching a new project in Barcelona. Talk about changing dreams on the fly. But it's a good thing. Honestly, not every dream needs to be fulfilled, or else life might lose its zest. I was used to distinct seasons. In autumn, trees obediently shed their leaves, winter blankets everything in the snow, spring wakes up nature in a burst of blooms, and summer is all about growth and fruits. In Barcelona, every tree and bush blooms and grows at its own whims, regardless of the seasons. This pretty much captures the spirit of the city. If I had to describe Barcelona in one word, it would be freedom. Its entire history is about that. The city and its inhabitants don't do well with restrictions. There are pros and cons to this. Any oddity is, if not understood, at least accepted here. It's a place where people smile and chat a lot, enjoying their time in cafes with coffee and beer, in no rush whatsoever. I'm on the roll here. If I need specific material for my doll, I always find special shop. I have made friends who feel like I have known them my whole life. It's a sure sign I'm on the right path. A year ago, starting from scratch was terrifying. It's not easy, but now I have a year of experience, goals and desires. Let's keep rolling. If I have decided to purpose real art, then I might as well be an artist. Fate favors my project of creating a doll collection inspired by Barcelona's neighborhoods. And without my consent, it's making me move from my cozy apartment in Barcelona due to its sudden sale by the owner. It seems like constant moving is part of my artistic journey. It allows me to absorb the essence of the neighborhoods, not just by wandering around, but by living there. I don't know yet which neighborhood I'll settle in next for my workshops, but I do know that my new doll Nina will represent the Poble-Sec district. My musical friend David Miret, with whom I'm continuing to record musical compositions for this doll, named his tradition setup. So let's see what sound the district has and who his hero is.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking about the name for the doll, and this name just kind of came to me, and the name is Nina. I don't know, for some reason it sounded like a good stage name to me. I could totally figure this character in some show, in some stage, and I thought like, yeah, Nina, why not? Also, some nice coincidence, maybe I would say Nina means doll in Catalan. So on the other side, it also had like this other meaning. And with the two things together, I don't know, it was like the name that just came naturally to me when I was working in the song. Yeah. The process of creating, well, it began, of course, with a meeting. We were discussing about the nature and the characteristics of Poble-Sec, and we created like this kind of world when we were brainstorming. I was thinking about the Poble-Sec and Parallel, where my father used to grow in, with all the theaters and all the vedettes and all of this vibrant nightlife. So I was thinking how to incorporate into my music language some elements that could like transport us there. And I immediately started thinking of instruments like accordions or brass that would totally transport me into this stage, cabaret, theater, circus, burlesque world. So yes, this was like the atmosphere or the universe that I was willing to dive into. Of course, it's something that I already always liked and felt connected to, so it wasn't too hard to start finding these elements. I wanted to keep my music language, which is electronic dance music, groovy kind of stuff with a lot of organic elements, blending a little bit and making the limits between electronic and organic a little bit blurry, these limits. So yeah, I decided to add some acoustic drums on top of some electronic drums to make this kind of new sound where I could still keep the language of my own music production that I've been doing over the years, and also incorporate a little bit of this more live feeling and proximity feeling that you have when you are in a theater or when you are going to see something live on stage. And then like I said, a little bit of accordion, some different kinds of brass instruments, and I also sampled some vocals that I thought were fitting the mood perfectly. I found them like doing some research and kind of accidentally, like it happens with sampling. And once I had all these elements, I just started to work and to experiment. And actually I felt very, very comfortable and inspired from the beginning. And I could say like the song kind of wrote itself over the process, and I was just like kind of translating it into reality. It was very, very fun song to do, and very, very nice process to be involved in. Yes.
Before, my doll collections were always made of one material. Porcelain, for instance, demands a series because it's a kind-sized head edge. No small deals with porcelain, so I had as many porcelain collections as I had series. Here is a multidisciplinary tip for budding artists. Create diptychs, triptychs, whatever technique you use. It gives your creativity a form of complete expression. It's a cliché, but finding your style or even an idea for a collection is invaluable. After all, you are going to dedicate a huge amount of time to it. Now, I want to combine dolls made of different materials: wood, polymer clay, and Flumo. I'm craving experiments probably influenced by Barcelona's free spirit. I'm about to start the second series with Flumo. Flumo is a liquid casting mass poured into special gypsum molds, just like porcelain. But unlike porcelain, it doesn't require high-temperature firing. Also, Flumo does not shrink during firing. If you are making a porcelain doll, you have to initially make it 1/3 larger to compensate for shrinkage. But with Flumo, the sizes are exact. These molds will allow me to make a small series, then I'll finalize the character of each doll. Every craftsman has his favorites among the materials, but there are also outsiders. I must admit I despise working with gypsum. We never hit it off. So I sculpted the doll and began searching for someone to help with molds. And Barcelona was kind again, though it required some detective work. First, as usual, I found a special shop selling Flumo. They also had porcelain and everything needed for working with it. Naturally, there were lots of ceramics. They directed me to someone who could help find the specialist I needed. And it turned out that this person worked in another shop where I had bought silicone. She then gave me the address and phone number of the ceramic artist Mili, who made the molds for me. I'm thrilled to have met this wonderful artist. Her studio is magical, and her dog, who comes to work with her, is absolutely adorable.
Okay, so you bring to me a prototype from a doll. So you want that I make a mold for you that you can reproduce this piece in porcelain. So I take each piece and make the partage, like mark the middle, more or less, about how many pieces are going to be each part. And before that, I start to make with clay the first part, the bed of the mold, we say in Spanish. And it's the first step, and then we continue with the next parts that this piece has. And little by little, each on each, we do all of them. Yeah, I'm going to open the face. I like this part. Yeah, this mold is in 3 pieces. So you can see the face, here the front of the face, and here you have the half of the top part of the face, and here the back and the beginning of the neck. And from this hole you pour the slip cast. Yeah, because I'm not super used to make this kind of molds about human body, so it was interesting, a little bit like come back to the university. You're welcome. Thank you for you.
We spent a couple of weeks making the molds, which are ready now, but we have to wait for them to dry before starting the process. I am excited to see the results. Next time, I'll show you the process of casting ersatz porcelain and the outcomes. In the last episode, I talked about the author's trick. For added strength, the final firing should be done for half an hour at 150 degrees in the oven, even though it's not on the label. So, in the next episode, I will show you. Why did I decide to become a doll artist? I always wanted to create dreams. This stems from my childhood in the USSR, where every evening a TV show captivated the attention of children just before bedtime. Good Night, Little Ones, the quintessential Soviet bedtime show from the middle 1970s, was like a bizarre state-sanctioned dream sequence. Picture that. A saintly-patient woman, Valentina Leontieva, attempts to choral an oddball ensemble of puppet characters, including a ceaselessly enthusiastic dog named Phil, a smarty pants hair Stepashka, and let's not forget the piece de resistance Harusha, a pig with manners of a ball in China shop taking the lead role. These characters meander through lessons and stories seemingly concocted by a committee fervently dedicated to moral and educational upgradedness. It's as if someone decided to lace a child's bedtime routine with a healthy dose of quiet propaganda, seasoned with a smattering of slightly unsettling vintage puppetry that could either lull you into a sense of security and leave you mildly disturbed. The show was less about soothing children into slumber and more about gently wrapping them in the warm ideological blanket of the Soviet ethos, all sweetened with the lullabies and tender goodnight wishes. But it's not about the main course as usual, it's about the sauce. The show had a puppet into that even as a little kid made me want to become a doll artist. Sadly, I have been unable to find it in any archives. I started to wonder in my memories were just elaborate confabulations. But then I found others like me, seekers, who remember the same thing, reassuring me that I'm not bonkers. The key is to make sure that it's not some kind of Mandela effect, where everyone collectively remembers a fact that never existed. That would be the ultimate plot twist in my career origin story. So I thought, why not ask OpenAI if they can help me out with a couple of screenshots of that intro. It's like Silicon Valley's version of back in the USSR. And just between us, yes, it was all exactly like that. But in our world, everything was exclusively in black and white, like living a world where the rainbow was just learning to call itself. Next week, I'm diving headfirst into uncharted waters, hosting my very first webinar in English. I have led more group classes than I can count, but a webinar, that's a whole new beast. So if you are feeling adventurous, sign up and join the fun. And of course, let's not forget the bread and butter of digital world, likes and subscribes. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, it's free and only click away. And if you liked what you saw, smash that like button, it's the digital way of giving a thumbs up.